Hey guys, welcome to this lesson. So here we're going to have a exam paper. It's from the Northwest Province, grade 10, November 2019, Maths Literacy Paper 2. It's 75 marks and it should take you no longer than 1.5 hours. If you would like to download the paper and follow along with me, just check the description below the video. So this first question, it obviously looks a little bit different to what it looks like in the exam paper, because I just had to break it up and try and make it as easy for you to see, and also try to fit everything onto the screen. So the questions will carry on. You can see on the next page here, we've got another few questions. So Mr. Litlake has an account with Exclusive Clothing Store and receives an account statement every month. Annexure A, which is this, I've just broken it up. Here's the first part. See how it says summary and then it carries on over here. Where did I see? Annexure A shows one of Mr. Litlake's account statements. Okay, so what we can see is that this statement, the statement period was over here. So what we can see is that this was for all of the things that happened in March. And if you look at all of these transaction dates, they're all in March. Okay, and when did they send this to Mr. Litlake? On the 1st of April. So what they do, what the shops do, is they allow you to spend money at the shops if you have like an account with them. So in March, you can spend money. Then on the 1st of April, they're going to send you a statement and they're going to try to summarize everything that happened and how much money you now owe them because you were using an account. Okay, so it says use the account in Annexure A to answer the questions that follow. Show with the necessary calculations how the purchases for the months has been calculated. Okay, what we can see here is it says total purchases for the month is 975 Rand. Now if you look here, you get debits and you get credits. Now debit is when you're spending money and credit is when you are, or let's say debit is when you are, you're spending more money. Credit is when you are paying money back if you have like an account with these people. Okay, so here we can see this person purchased a men's jacket, a lady's dress, kiddie's shoes, ladies' accessories, kiddie's underwear, and a men's sleep shirt. Don't worry about this. This is interest. That is not a purchase. They asked us specifically for the purchases for the month. So if you had to go add those numbers together, 476 plus 135.50 plus 99 Rand 50 plus 77 Rand 50 plus 129.50 plus 57 Rand. If you go add all of that together on your calculator, you will get to exactly 975. And so that is how they got the total purchases for this month, which is in March. Okay, so that's that first question. Let's just remember that this was in March. This next question says, determine the missing value A, which is the interest on the money outstanding. Okay, now you got to listen to me very, very, very carefully. Okay? If you look here, this is the amount of money that we owe, that Mr. Litlake owes now on the 1st of April. Okay, and this amount over here is the amount that he owes on that would have been on the previous month, that would have been on 1 March. Okay, so this is how much this person owes on the previous statement, and this is how much they owe on the new statement. So on the previous statement, this is how much money they needed to pay on 1 March. Now, the way that these companies make money is they let you buy some of the things in the shop on credit, and then when you pay it back, you're going to pay back a little bit more, and that amount that you're going to pay back more is the interest. Okay, so on the 1st of April, they are going to add on the interest from the previous month. Okay, they're going to add on the interest over there. So how much interest are they going to add on? Well, they are going to add on 31% per year. So how much would that be in a month? Well, if you're saying 31% per year, then if you say 31% divided by 12, that is 2.583333 2.58% per month. So if you then add 2.58% of interest onto that amount, the way that you'd calculate that is you'll just say 2.583333 multiplied by the amount 1215.80. And if you work this out, sorry, this is meant to say percentage, and then percent of the amount, which is 1215.80. Now, percentage, just type the percentage on your calculator, and then of means times, and you end up with 31 Rand and 41 cents. So remember, on the 1st of April, they're going to charge you the interest based upon the previous month. They're not going to charge you the interest on the current month. Why? Because you haven't even had a chance to pay it back yet. So they're going to add the interest on your previous month. They're going to tell you, hey buddy, on 1 March, this is how much you owe us. And then a month later, they're going to charge you interest on that. Okay? So the amount here is going to be 31 Rand and 41 cents. Okay, exclusive clothing store calculates the amount owing using a percentage. Calculate the percentage they have used to determine the amount that Mr. Letlake has to pay on the balance that he owes. Now, they have not worded that question very nicely. So what we can see here is that on the 1st of March, this is how much money this person owes. Okay, then they made a payment. This is a good thing. This is when Mr. Letlake is busy paying back his account. You see how he pays back his account over here. Okay, so you could see that he already owes 1215.80. Then he pays back 450 Rand. So now he owes them less. But then he made some purchases. So now he owes them more money. So now he owes them this. And then he receives a refund. So that means the amount that he owes them is going to become less. Now, if you go calculate all of that, this isn't part of the question. I'm just showing you how they get these numbers. You end up with 1605.3, but then they also add the interest on from the previous month, like we said. And so you add on 31 Rand and 41 cents. And if you add these two numbers together, you get 1636.71, which is the amount that this man now owes. But the shops don't expect you to pay back the money immediately. What they do is they ask you to pay a minimum. So you can pay as much as you want, but it must be this number or larger. You cannot say, hi, can I pay 100 Rand this month? No. It has to be a minimum. Okay? Now, that's what this question says. It says, calculate the percentage. Exclusive store calculates the amount owing using a percentage. Okay, but they haven't made that very clear. What they're actually asking is, what is this number as a percentage of this number? So all that you do is, let's say you wrote a test. Let's say you wrote a maths test, and out of 50, you got 37. How do you work out your percentage? You say 37 divided by 50 times 100. So out of this total, what is this number as a percentage? So you can just say, out of 1636.71, what is 327.34? And then say times 100. And if you work this out, it rounds off to a perfect 20%. So this company, they want you to pay back 20% of whatever you owe them. That's what they want you to do every month. So if you owe them a certain amount, then for this month, they're going to ask you to pay back 20%. Mrs. Letlake sells bunny chows at her house to support her husband with the financial running of the household. Below is a graph representing her sales for 1 month. Okay, so here's the days. And we can see number of bunny chows. I've heard so much about bunny chows. Like, I used to live in a little town called Ladysmith, just outside Durban, and I know, like, in Durban, bunny chows are huge, like, so popular, but I've never had one. So it says here that a bunny chow is a quarter loaf of bread where the soft part of the bread is removed, the inside is then filled with various fillings, and the softer part is put back on top. Ooh, that sounds so good. Refer to the graph above to answer the following question for 2 marks. Mrs. Leclerc states that she sells more bunny chows on the weekend than on the weekdays. Can it be said with certainty that her statement is true? Give a reason for your answer. Well, what we can see is that her good sale days are here, 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 and here. So if you look at the way this graph works, that the 1 is there, 2 is there, 3 is there. So if we look at this peak is happening on day 6, and then this peak is happening on day 13. Now if you look at the distance from 6 to 13, that is 7 days, which is a week. Okay, so it does make sense. Then this one here is on day 20. Okay, it's on day 20. And if that's on day 13, then that's another 7 days. So it looks like every 7 days, she seems to be getting her best sales. And then all of a sudden the sales drop again. But we don't know if that is a Saturday, a Sunday, a Monday. These could all be Mondays. We don't know that. These could all be Mondays. So we cannot say for certain that this lady is actually selling most of her things on the weekend. So we will say no, and we'll say that the days of the week not given on graph. The first thing I want to mention with this question is that the questions do carry on. So there's these ones, then it goes here, and goes here. Okay, so it's going to look a little bit different to if you are following this as an exam paper. Then if you find this exam question, it's going to look a little bit different, but that's just because I'm trying to move everything around so that everything can fit nicely. Okay, so Mrs. Leclerc bought a set of 6 dinner chairs. There they are. She now has to assemble the chairs. The picture alongside shows an assembled chair. Okay, there we go. Use annexure B. Now, annexure B is this part and this part, okay, to determine the number of JCBC screws required for one chair. Now, if you look at, they said it's F. So if you look at F, it says there JCBC screws. It says that this package comes with 24, but that is for 6 chairs. So they want to know how many screws do you need for one chair? Well, you could say 24 divided by 6, which is 4. So you could say 4 screws over there. This one, by referring to the picture of the chair above, so they're talking about this picture here, determine which parts of the chair are still to be fitted onto the chair in step 2. Okay, so in step 2, have a look at what the chair looks like and compare it with what you see over here. What is missing? Well, there's 2 things missing. One of them is the chair itself, so that's this part, the chair seat. And then the other one is, you see there's these poles, or these things that go in between, and those are, and you can see on here on this diagram, they don't have them. So those are called stretchers. So I'm just going to say chair seat plus stretchers. This question says, according to the diagram of the chair occupies a floor area of 42 by 4.41. That makes sense. If you were looking at this chair from the top, all you're going to see is, or you're going to see that part there, and then maybe you'll see like the base of the chair. But that's pretty much what you would see. So you would see this distance here, because these are where your legs would be. Okay, and they said that that distance there is 41 centimeters, and that distance there is 42. When you're looking from the top, you're not going to look at the 94. So it says calculate the minimum floor area occupied by each chair. So you're going to say 41. You see how they're saying length multiplied by width? So we can say 42 multiplied by 41. And that'll be 1,722 centimeters to the power of 2. The actual height of the chair, as indicated on the diagram, is 94 centimeters. If it is placed in a box, remember that they're going to send this in a box, okay? That allows 1 centimeter each side for packaging. What would the dimensions of the box be? Okay, well, this part here is this part here. So you can imagine that that part there is going to lie in a box, okay? So it would look something like that, or let's say here's your box. Okay, your box goes around it like that. Well, let me try to draw it from the side. Okay, so if you take a box, now they said that you must allow 1 centimeter on either side so they could put packaging, like packaging or bubble wrap, all of that. So this length is going to be 94 plus 1 centimeter here and 1 centimeter here. So plus 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter, and that'll be 96 centimeters. Then how wide is this box going to be? Well, we can use this 42 as our guideline, but then remember we have to add 1 centimeter on either side. So this is 42, but then you're going to add 1 centimeter on either side for the bubble wrap or the packaging. So it's going to be 42 plus 1 plus 1, which is going to be 44 centimeters. So what would the dimensions of the box be? 44 by 96, or 44 centimeters by 96 centimeters. Okay. Then this question, what will piece K in annexure B, so this part over here, be used for? Now this is an Allen key. Have you ever used an Allen key? Well, Allen keys help you to, they're usually like an L shape, and you usually get them in like a package when you get these type of things, or if you cycle or something like that, you use it on the bicycle. It's like a special screw that allows you to tighten or loosen screws or bolts. Okay, so we can just say here for tightening of the screws. Okay, read the following information carefully to answer the questions that follow. Material used to cover the cushion of the chairs is 64.50 per meter. Okay, so the material for the chair is 64.50 per meter. Then it says here that each chair needs approximately 1.1 meters per chair. Okay, and then labor cost is 75 Rand per chair. First question, calculate how much material Mrs. Letlake needs to buy to cover all of the chairs. Well, each chair needs 1.1 meter, and there are 6 chairs. So we'll just say 6 multiplied by 1.1, and that'll give us 6.6 meters. 6.6 meters. Calculate the cost of material. Well, the material is 64.50 per meter, so we could say 64.50 per meter. And so if you had to work this out, you end up with 425.70 Rand. Then this question says, calculate the total cost of material and the labor. Okay, well, labor cost is going to be 75 Rand per chair, so labor is going to be 75 Rand per chair, so you just multiply that by 6. And so that's going to give 450 Rand. And then the material, we already calculated that as 425.70. So if you add these two numbers together now, you end up with 875.70. Mr. Letlake, first of all, sorry, there are questions that are going to carry on the next slide. There's actually, check this out, a 10-mark question coming up. Mr. Letlake's youngest son, Tabang, and his fiancée are going to get married. Woohoo! They have chosen a hall for their ceremony, and they have decided on how the seating plan should look. The seating plan is represented in Annexure C. So this is Annexure C. Refer to the seating plan. How many people do the couple intend to invite? Okay, now what we can see here is we've got a table where there's 8 people, 8 chairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's going to be 8. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, and then also they're obviously inviting the family, so the family normally sits over here. But remember that, let's say these two are the bride and groom, so they're not going to invite themselves. So we're going to invite all of these 8 different, or all of these tables that we said here, and then the parents and things like that. So that would be here, 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 here. So we're going to say 8 multiplied by 13 because there were 13 tables that we multiplied each one with 8. And then, because there was 8 per table, and then there's 3 people here and another 3 people here, so that's plus 6. And so that's 110 people at their wedding. That's quite a lot. 110 people. Remember, you don't count them because they're not going to invite themselves. That's a bit weird. Yo, bro, I'm going to invite myself to my wedding. It's weird. Okay, why are there no chairs arranged on the shorter sides of the table? Well, this is an open-ended question, but one of them is just to allow for easier movement and to allow a larger space for the dance floor. So you could say something like that. Allow larger space for dance floor. Okay. This one. A person seated at table 6 close to the main table. Okay, so table 6. Let's see, where are you? Table 6. Table 6 is here. Okay. Close to the main table, wants to put her gift on the gift table, which is here. Describe a possible route this person can take without having to walk over the dance floor. Okay, so they said that this person is sitting close to the main table. So let's just say this person's sitting here. So they could get up and they could just walk past the dance floor towards the podium. So walk alongside, so they're not walking on the dance floor, towards the podium. And then once they go past the podium, they could turn left. So once past podium, turn left. Okay, and then 3.4, tables 1, 2, and 3 are reserved for the bridal couple, the parents, 1 bridesmaid, and 1 best man. Okay, remember this is the special VIP area. Okay, calculate the probability that if you are invited as a guest, you will be sitting at a table with an even number. Write your final answer to 3 decimal places. Okay, so let's just ignore the fact that we could be the bridesmaid or we could be the best man. Let's just pretend we are not going to sit there at all, okay? So it says, calculate the probability that if you were invited, you'll be sitting at a table with an even number. Now, even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, okay? So, and 16, of course. So, how many tables are there altogether? Don't count these ones. So just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 13 tables. How many of those are even numbers? Well, that would be table number 6, 4, 8, 10, 14, and 12, and 16. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's a 7 out of 13. And it says write your final answer to 3 decimals. So just go type this on your calculator. And then to 3 decimals, that would be 0,538. The caretaker of the hall stated that the area of the dance floor is 1/4 of the floor area of the hall. The length of the floor is 16 meters and the width is 12. Okay, so they're talking about the entire floor now. So this is 16 meters and then this is 12 meters. Calculate the area of the dance floor. Okay, well, let's first go calculate the area of the entire floor. So that's going to be using the formula length times width. So we're going to say 16 multiplied by 12, and that'll give us 192 meters squared. Now the dance floor is 1/4 of that. See what I just said? 1/4 of that. So 1/4 of 192. Of means times. So just type that on your calculator and you get 48 square meters. So that is the area of this dance floor. Okay, so here's the big 10-mark question. So it says the bridal couple have to spend a lot of money for their entire wedding reception. Oh, we're inviting 110 people. The reception will be held from 5 o'clock until midnight. The expenses are as follows. You're hiring the venue. You got to do draping and decor. Then you got to pay for the DJ, the doots. Catering per person for the first 100 guests and 200 for every person over that. And then the disc jockey will also be included for the catering cost. Shame, the poor dude also has to eat some food. Okay, so the bridal couple stated that it will cost 50,000 Rand for the entire reception. Verify if this is valid or not. Okay, this is exciting. So we get to go count all of this up now. So we said that the couple is inviting 110 people, right? But that didn't include the DJ, and that didn't include them. So there's actually going to be 113 people. 110 guests, and then the DJ, and then the couple themselves. They have to eat, right? They don't get food for free. And then that's going to be a total of 113 people. So the different expenses are going to be the hiring of the venue, the draping and decor, the disc jockey, 350 Rand per hour. Okay, so if you're going from 5 o'clock until midnight, you can work that out for yourself, but that's 7 hours. So that's 7 hours. This guy gets paid 350 per hour. Then the catering is 350 Rand per person for the first 100 people. So let's just take 100 people and give them 350. Then how many people are still uncounted? Well, we've got 100 people here. There's 13 people that we haven't counted yet. They're going to be charged 200 Rand. And that should be it. If we go calculate all of this now, you end up with 54,300 Rand. Right. Now, on the memo, if you are looking at this as part of an exam paper question, if you do have the memo with you, you'll see that they got a different answer. They said that there is 112 guests, but I can promise you that that is wrong. I went and looked at their memo carefully. We already found out that there was 110 guests earlier. That did not include the DJ, and that did not include the bride and groom. So they forgetting about the DJ in this calculation, but they said the disc jockey will also be included in the catering cost. So we must include him for the catering cost. So yeah, trust me, this is correct over here. So they said it was going to be 50,000. It came out to a different number, so their statement is invalid. First thing I want to mention with this question is that the questions do carry on the next slide to over there. Okay, Miss Kishma Leclerc, a grade 10 maths literacy teacher at Bashiko High School, recorded the result of her class test as follows. So here's the results of the class test. Use the information to determine the median. Okay, so remember that we typically study mode, median, mean, and range. Specifically, when you're going for the median, you have to make sure these results are from smallest to largest. So the smallest is, 25. So we put 25. Then, I think it's 30. No, there's a 29. There's a 29. Okay, I'm going to run a space if I do it like that. So it's 25. Then 29. So scratch out. Then there's 30s. Okay, there's 1, 2 of them. Then there is a 32. And then the next one is 35, of which there's 2 of those. And then, 38. Then there's no 40s. Then the next one is 50. So 56 looks to be the smallest, 56. There's 2 of those. And then 58. Yeah, there's 2 of those. And 3 of those, actually. Yeah. Okay. 60. What's the smallest one? 67. There's 2 of those. Then there's a 70, a 74, 76, 84, and 85. So now what I like to always do if I was in a test to make sure I've captured everything is I just count how many numbers there are. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Then I go count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, good. Now it says determine the median. So the median is the halfway number. So I just scratch out from start to finish. Scratch out, scratch out, scratch out. So 1 from the beginning, 1 from the end. And I keep doing that. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. And then when you've got 2 left over like this, you just add them together and then you divide by 2. And that will be 57. So that's 57. This question says find the range. Range is the highest minus the lowest. So the highest value that we got was 85 and the lowest was a 25. So that is 60. Calculate the modal. Modal is the one that appears the most. It's the number that you see happening the most. So if we look here, I think it was here, 58. You see how we had 3 of those. So that would be your modal. It's the one that you see the most. Now the questions carry on. It says learners' performance is summarized using a rating code. Okay. The results of the grade 10 Maths Lit is summarized below in table 1. Okay, so here's the table. I've got it written up here. Now it says determine the values of P and Q. Okay, so if you look at P, it's the number of people, frequency, that got between 40 and 49%. So between 40 and 49, that would be... I don't think there was anyone who got in the 40s. Remember that. So that's going to be a 0. And then in between 30 and 39, so that's this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, and this person. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This question says, determine the probability that a learner selected at random scores 60% or more for the test. So remember, probability is always out of all of the people, how many scored 60 or more. So 60 or more. Let's go find all of those people. That would be this person, this person, this person, this person, this one, this one, this one. Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. And then you're going to say times by 100 because they asked us as a percentage. And that'll be 35%. 35%. This question says, complete the bar graph using the information in table 1. Okay, so pretty much it says here level 1. So for level 1, there was 2 people. So we can see that it goes up to 2 people, 1 and 2. For level 4, for example, there was 5 people. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the idea, right? That's level 4. So they want us to just fill in level 2 and level 3. So for level 2, there were 6 people. So for level 2, 6 people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there. Whoopsie, that was very skew. Okay, obviously you would have a ruler. And then for level 3, there was actually 0. So you don't have to do anything over there. And the last one says, Kishma offered an amount of 500 Rand as a reward to be shared amongst all the learners with a rating code of 6 or 7 in the ratio of 2 to 3 respectively. Oh, so this is actually quite a confusing question. So they're only looking at the learners in code 6 to 7. So they're looking over here. Okay. Now they're going to split the 500 Rand into code 6 and code 7s. But the code 7s are going to get more, they're going to receive more money because they're going to get a ratio of 3 to 2. That's got nothing to do with this 3 and 2. That's got to do with this 3 and 2. So remember how to divide the 500 Rand up. You say 500 divided by, you add those two numbers together, that's 5. That'll be 100 Rand. So then this part is 2 parts, so this would be 200 Rand, and then this part here would be 300 Rand. Okay, so what that means is that the code 7 total is going to be 300 Rand, and the code 6 total is going to be 200 Rand. Now, in code 7, there are 2 learners. So there's 300 Rand being given amongst 2 learners. So how much would each learner get? Well, you would divide this by 2, and that would be 150 Rand that each learner would get. Let me explain that again. So this teacher is going to give 500 Rand. She's not looking at these numbers here. She says that she'll split the 500 Rand into the ratio of 2 to 3. So the code 6s will get a ratio of 2, and the code 7s a ratio of 3. So we took the 500 Rand and we broke it up into that ratio, and we found that the code 6s would end up getting 200 Rand to split up amongst all of them, and then the code 3s will get 300 Rand to split up amongst all of them. So the question says, how much will each of the learners with a 7 rating get? Well, there's 300 Rand available, but there's 2 learners in that category. So that's why we're dividing by 2. So each learner in code 7 will get 150 Rand.